So I wanted to follow up on an interesting comment from a Battletech podcast vlog. A couple of days ago, we were exploring some ideas with light mechs going up against heavy mechs. We explored the mongoose, kicking around some variants of the locust on there. And one of the pieces in the comments, and this got me thinking into light mechs, what really destroys or cripples light mechs. One of the ideas in the comments was that we were talking about heavy mechs, but I'm going to lump heavy and assault class mechs together. They're actually a lot more vulnerable than you think in terms of lights and mediums going up against them. It's not an automatic kill on there. And this idea was, if we're talking about an average mech based on battle value and based on tonnage, this idea that a lot of mechs have a mix of energy and ballistic weapons. You have a few that are completely in one end, completely in the other, but look at the Battlemaster, right? An awesome mech, one of my favorites. You've got some lasers, you've got some PPCs, but you have machine guns with ammo bins. You've got some short-range missiles in there. Through the various internals of the mech everywhere, is it the Crusader? Okay, I'm going to test you guys here, and I'm testing myself. I know the Crusader has the leg missiles. Is there any mech that has ammo in its legs on there? I'm going to have to think about that and consult the tech manuals after this vlog. But generally speaking, that because heavy and assault mechs carry more ballistic type weapons and missile type weapons, there's a good chance if you as a light mech are able to punch through to that section, especially if it's rear armor, which should be easier to achieve, then the whole mech is going to explode on there. So that's a real vulnerability. And playing a lot of different mixed mechs, I have to agree, not just going up against light mechs. There are certain mechs that are out there that when things go internal to one spot, you start to worry, and you might try to what I call blade your mech, meaning if we're facing off against each other and you take out my right torso going to internals, I might try to now shift that side away and only fire with a lesser arc on my weapons on there. I mean, I learned that playing the T-Bolt. I love the Thunderbolt, but you got to be careful. It's a tank, but when things go to internal, you start sweating it out. Same with the Stalker. Stalker's got a lot of missiles populated in a lot of different places on there. So it's a chance. Yes, you have to roll for crit. You have to confirm crit. You have to roll locations. But there is a good possibility to lose a heavier and assault class mech when technically it still has a lot of armor. It still has a lot of stuff left that's available there, which leads to a light mech. Most light mechs I find that I've lost, trying to track it for a little while. I can't remember the last time I lost a light mech to an ammo explosion on there. Most light mechs are going to carry some machine guns. Most light mechs are going to carry short-range missiles. But you have such little armor, and based on the damage rules anyway of internal damage for exploding ammo, you're pretty much done. I mean, we could try to calculate the numbers, but you're pretty much smoking boots. Your mech's just going to explode on there. So it's pretty rare, I find, that, it happens, but it's pretty rare, very rare, that I lose a light mech to an explosion. Most of the time, if I'm not running away off the table, meaning I've been trying to skirmish, I've been trying to scout, I've been trying to engage, I take a couple of hits, and I'm really, really weakened, and I got to run off the table. If I'm going to stick it out for whatever reason, I find that I mostly lose my light mech to leg shots on there. I get a leg blown off, and now either I stay down prone or I prop myself up on there. Not destroyed, but certainly, for all intents and purposes, probably taken out of the game. I also find that I lose my light mechs to damage transfer the most on there, meaning I get hit on the arm, and there's a couple of bubbles left, and things transfer. Or I'm getting a section of my mech blown off, meaning taking a couple of hits to the left torso, getting it blown off, and watching half of my mech kind of fall off in the process on there. That's kind of mostly how I lose my mechs, where eventually I get cored out. It's pretty rare too based on the damage chart to get cored out by just taking those center torso hits on there, most of the time it's the damage transfer in the rules that gets me. Your kind of take on light mechs, those of you exclusively playing them, how do you lose them? What type of damage are they focused on taking that tends to put them and take them out of the game?